everyone, I'm Isabel Ho from NUS High School, and today we're here with Prof. Wang. Would you like to start by telling us a little bit more about yourself and how you initially started on your research journey?
Hi, my name is Hongyan Wang. I'm a professor and deputy program director of Neuroscience and Behavioral Disorder program at Duke-NUS Medical School, Singapore. So my research centers around brain development, specifically how neural stem cells divide, proliferate, undergo differentiation to generate neurons and glial cells that are important for brain development. We are also using multiple model systems, including fruit flies, mouse brains, as well as human cells, including human organoids, brain organoids, which are mini brains, to study, to model neurodevelopmental disorders. So my research journey started very early on when I was an undergrad student doing final year project on molecular cloning, which really opened up a new world of molecular biology for me. So it's really fascinating that I could actually engineer DNAs by cutting and ligating them and then transform the plasmids into in vivo cells to study their function.
So what led you to start inspiring girls and women choose STEM?
When I was a young researcher, I always had very prominent female scientists around. They are very inspiring, so they may not really be my direct supervisor, but I know them. I know they are doing really well. So I think that was, by their presence, it's already very encouraging, and I feel like maybe I dream to be one of them in one day. So I think nowadays I also hope that there are more girls knowing me and knowing that there's a successful example there they can also they can learn from. Hopefully they can also help them to encourage themselves to pursue their dreams.
I think you're also very encouraging for me.
Thank you.
So what are some challenges you face as a woman in STEM?
There are a few challenges as a woman scientist. For example, I occasionally receive comments like, "You don't look like a professor." Of course, I initially feel a little offended, but I realized that the best way is to respond them is to really show, and impress them with my research, and letting them know me as a true scientist. So I think making them also realize that a professor can look like me.
And then in these times of adversity, how do you stay inspired and motivated?
I think as a research scientist, there's always unexpected challenges, uncertainties, and adversity. So that's kind of almost always there. So the difference is how you respond to them. So sometimes I tell my lab member, it's all of your own choice, whether you choose to worry, but you can also choose to improve yourself. So I think first of all, I feel like it's very important to believe in yourself. At a difficult time, it's always a little challenging to continue believing in yourself and remain confident. But I think that's the most important thing. You have to believe in yourself that you can go through the difficult time, and also take an opportunity to improve yourself so that in the future maybe you will have a less chance to run into similar situations. And it's also very important to seek advice from your mentors who you can trust and who can provide very sound advice for you to help you to overcome the problems. And I always tend to my family and friends because they're always on my side. They're very supportive. All this really helped me to go through the difficult time.
And how do you feel being elected as the first female EMBO member from Singapore?
So EMBO is the leading molecular biology organization in Europe. It has close to 2,000 members, including over 90 Nobel laureates. So it's an incredible honor to be one of them. So I think being elected as an EMBO associate member really means that it makes a lot of people realize that research from Singapore can be recognized internationally, especially work done by a female scientist. So I think in the future this will also mean that I'm sure there are more female scientists from Singapore receive the similar recognition. I think this will also be very important for science going on in Singapore.
And then to you, which part of the day is the most fun?
So absolutely is the time that I discuss science with my lab members, because this is the time I find out new things going on with our exciting projects, whether the new finding, whether it's small or big, it's always very exciting to me.
And then what is one fun fact about neural stem cells?
So one fun fact about neural stem cells is that they can enter quiescence. They are not always dividing. So when they are in quiescent state, they are non-dividing or slow dividing. So that means that they have much decreased capability to generate new neurons. And it's also worth to note that in mammalian brains, especially in the aging brain, the population of quiescent neural stem cells are increased. So our study also is trying to reveal the mechanisms how quiescent neural stem cells can be reactivated, so that hopefully we can find ways to rejuvenate the brain and improve the function of the brain.
And then, will you have any advice for young girls in STEM or thinking of going into STEM?
If the young girls, or if you are interested in STEM subjects, definitely go for it. And I think STEM subjects are really diverse. I'm sure you can find your passion. So once you find your passion, go for it. And I think the most important thing is knowing what you really want to do. I mean, it can really change a person. So for example, before I entered the molecular biology field, I was quite unmotivated. But once I decided to, once I'm really passionate about it, it makes a whole lot of difference. So I'm willing to put in extra effort. And I think that's very important for my success today.
And last question. In the article in 2021, I read that you're very passionate about focusing on the mutations that cause neurodevelopmental disorders in children in Singapore. Is that still a major goal moving forward? Or what other major goals do you have?
Yeah, this remains as our major goal in scientific study. And so this is because in the past, a lot of genes we study in fruit flies with their human orthologs are implicated in neurodevelopmental disorders, and such as autism, intellectual disability, and epilepsy. So I think now we are expanding our research to mammalian systems so that we can use multiple model systems to model neurodevelopmental disorders and to understand how the disease are manifested and how we can actually improve the potentially treatment of these disorders. And it's important to note that there are about 5% of children in Singapore are affected by neurodevelopmental disorders among the pediatric population. Currently, there's not much going on for neurodevelopmental disorder studies in Singapore. So I think that's a very important area with a lot of gaps that we need to address. These children who suffer from neurodevelopmental disorders at their earlier life also tend to suffer from neurodegenerative disorders. So it's very important to understand how to prevent or how to treat the neurodevelopmental disorders.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prof. Wang.
Thank you, Isabel.